Welcome back, my friends, to the tour that never ends. We spent all day yesterday driving so we could get here to Fort Rucker, Alabama, and the U.S. Army Aviation Museum, which you can see behind me. I'm gonna look at some aircraft outside and then go inside where it's warm. I can't believe that my hands are freezing and I'm, what, 7-8 hours south of Charleston, South Carolina. Not Alabama was supposed to be warm. So, welcome back. We're going to look at some aircraft outside and then inside into the warmth. Do a walk around of this beautiful Chinook. It's odd. I've never really seen one like this with the huge wing pylons coming out of it. Not sure what that's all about. See what I'm talking about? These wings are odd. I'd like to find out the story behind those. There's the outside, the port side, as it were. Over here we have a strange assortment of various, it looks like transport aircraft. Army Learjet, turboprops. Looks like matching, almost the same. And then this thing, which I'm not real familiar with, U.S. Army Crazy Cat. Odd. It's got appears to be jets and turboprops on it. I wish they had signs explaining what the aircraft were. They may inside. And some type of weird NASA chase plane. Look at the mounting of the engine on this thing. The engine way up high. And you can tell it's either experimental or an X-plane or a chase plane by the brightly painted probe on the nose of it. Odd aircraft. I didn't think to bring gloves to Alabama in the springtime, but I have to admit, my hands are getting chilly. It is a bit windy out here. And up ahead of us is, I guess, a provider or a caribou. I'll flip it around. So, Vietnam era cargo plane, and unlike the Hercules, it was much smaller, and it only had 2 engines, vice 4. But these were the true workhorses of the Vietnam War. I think the C-130 gets all the credit. But these were the, like I said, the real workhorses. We'll take a look at the aft ramp. And you can see, very much like the C-130, has a raised tail and then a aft cargo ramp, much narrower than the C-130. But it could also go places that the C-130 even couldn't go. And the C-130 was known for its ability to land in remote areas. And the Kiowa Warrior up here on the pedestal. Very nice. A Bell Jet Ranger, a military Bell Jet Ranger. And if I remember correctly, I saw something that I have never seen before up close over on the side of the building. I've seen plenty of these. Look at that from head on, the attack helicopter, but up on a platform. And this is their sign, U.S. Army Aviation Museum. Boy, it says as soon as I went around the edge of that building, the wind hit. So the wind is blowing from the west. CH-54B sky crane. Look at the size and weirdness of this. I love the sky cranes. I know they're still using them for woodland firefighting out west. Isn't that cool? So look at the size of that winch up there. Massive, massive winch. It is a sky crane after all. The loadmaster, it's painted over, but his position would be right here. So he could look back and then monitor the load. That is one immense bird. Look at the engines on that thing. All exposed, by the way. A modeler's dream. We're inside. I love this statue. I always have. The Air Warrior. I don't know how they did this. I think they just took mannequins, because it's just way too realistic. I think they took mannequins, dressed them up, and then bronzed them, at least for some of them. And you'll see what I'm talking about when we get over here. Vietnam crew member, 1960s. Louisiana maneuvers, 1930s. Gulf War, aviator, 1990s. World War II liaison officer, 1940s. And here's what I'm talking about. Spec Ops, 150th Night Stalker. The details on here are something that they never could have done in just cold cast bronze. Korean War aviator, 1950s. And back to the Air Warrior in 1910, but look at the detail on that. Love it. This time we're gonna walk this direction first. To the early years. Here's what I mean by that. Military aviation, the beginning. No flying machine will ever fly from New York to Paris. Orville Wright, 1906. Why shouldn't I fly from New York to Paris? I have more than 4 years of aviation behind me and close to 2,000 hours in the air. Charles Lindbergh, 1926. So 20 years later, from the beginning of flying till crossing the ocean. 1903. There's the Wright Flyer. Next tour, we're going to have to head back up to Kitty Hawk. As a matter of fact, I think we're going to do that sooner than later, maybe in the next couple months. Sounds like a good July or August tour. The Wright Military Flyer. Isn't that pretty? Look at that. Military Flyer. The Wright Flyer, constructed for the U.S. Army in 1911, was a significantly altered version of Wright's first A-model flyer. Relocation and configuration of the elevator surfaces and the addition of dual controls result in a more stable, useful platform. Wow. You gotta wonder what somebody could do with that, but everything had a beginning. They say standing on the shoulders of giants. Look at this twin cockpit. I'm not super familiar with my biplanes. The Curtiss JN4D from 1916. Looking at World War I vintage. And this one's beautiful. So much bigger than I thought they would be. Look at the rigging on the stanchions between the wings. Look how detailed that is. Royal Aircraft Factory BE-2C. And that's interesting. It's got a four-bladed prop. I never really saw a four-bladed prop on early aircraft like this. And the detail that went into that prop, I mean, it's not just four pieces of wood slapped together. It is laminated and beautiful, and it is nice. Another early airplane, the Royal Aircraft Factory SE-5A. And they did a great job with the mannequins. The Scarlet Lady. And one of my favorite guns, the Lewis gun. I love this. Just the look of the Lewis gun has always been one of my favorite guns. Even the ones with the big barrel shroud. And you can see kind of what made them unique was that metal heat sink that would draw air and cool the barrel. Barrel cooling was the big issue back in the day. So there it is, the Scarlet Lady. You can see him putting the prop on. That's what he's doing. He's even got his monkey wrench, his spanner, tightening up that prop nut. Boy, I would hate to lose that flying. Speaking of machine guns, got two others over here. The Maxim, beautiful, and the Vickers. They look similar, don't they? In design, and they were. I think they were all basically designed after this Maxim. This is probably talking about the Jenny, the JN3 Jenny that Pershing used in the punitive expedition, hunting down Pancho Villa. Mexican-American War, 1916. Look at that beautiful nose art. Newport 28C1. Look how small these things are. When you compare them with modern aircraft, they were just tiny. And I love the camouflage and the markings that they used back then. The kicking jackass, kicking donkey back there. And again, beautiful, beautiful detail on that rigging between the wings. The cross member here. I thought they were round. It's kind of it's round. That kind of keeps all the rigging in position, and then more rigging up there to the on the top where the wings affix. Look at the detail on this rotary engine. And they've got a cutaway on it. I wonder if this is one that actually turns so you can see the way the cylinders move in and out. If it was, I wish it was operational right now. I just always thought the Rotary was fascinating the way it worked. More beautiful early aircraft. Look at the twin Vickers up there. Sopwith F1 Camel. The Sopwith Camel. Awesome, cool artwork again. U.S. Army Air Corps coming into the modern years here. In 1925, President Coolidge appointed a board to study the best means for developing and using aircraft in the role of national defense. U.S. Army Air Corps. 1938, the Army considered reorganizing into 4 field armies. I'll hold it there in case you want to read the whole thing. A lot of these, I won't read them completely. You can just kind of pause the video and read them on your own. But we have a P-40, a P-26, and more P-40s. U.S. Army Air Forces. Army Air Forces, Springfield, Illinois. 1942, 41, 45. And a full-size diorama over here. He's checking out the lay of the land. Honoring the originals, the Eyes of the Army, 1942 to 1951. Field Artillery, the Cub. The Piper J3 Cub. Little tiny thing. High wing, great visibility. Little tiny engine on this thing. That's all it was meant to do, is scout the enemy.